Hello and welcome to BS3 Talk Live. I'm your host Owen and of course I'm joined by Jack Dawson and James Cox. Gents, how are you?
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. It's good to get advancing with the podcast.
Yeah. We're visual form.
Yeah,
you can see.
You can see
this. You can see this.
Some of you might be disappointed, and for those I apologise.
There's nothing I can do.
So today we're going to be looking ahead to the summer window, and with it ending at the earlier date of August 8th, like I think it's a couple of games into the season or something. It's important that the teams get the business done early, and none more so than Bristol City, it seems. So basically I'm going to be asking these lovely people their three choices of a defender, midfielder and attacker as to who would strengthen City in the summer. So, Coxy, if you want to get us started.
Well, bang.
There we go.
There's our choices.
Look at that.
These are, so I'll start with Fikayo Tomori. Obviously, in my opinion, best defender in the league. Has been this season.
Wouldn't disagree. Good lad. He's got 4 tackles, interceptions per game. It's more than any of our centre-backs. He is an ambitious choice. Very ambitious.
I think we all know that. You've got your ambitious choices too.
That was your criticism though, Doss, wasn't it? You saw that.
Yeah, I feel, obviously he's been one of Derby's standout players. He's on there from Chelsea. I feel, obviously, if he's doing very well for Derby, how is he going to... why would he come over here? I guess you could say the same for Callas last year. Why would he go from Fulham?
He's a Premier League standard player. I think it's my most ambitious choice, and it's my choice that if we get Premier League, I'd love to bring him in. Imagine we don't get hold of Callas. I'd not rather have Tomori. I'd have either of them. But that would be what a duo, Webster and Tomori.
Yeah.
The Prem, I don't know what's coming. So that's kind of my pitch for Tomori. It's my ambitious choice. I'm not going to pretend it isn't. So yeah, keep that in mind.
Midfielder.
Right, midfielder. Midfielder's my most realistic choice. We literally almost had him, Joe Williams, in the winter. I think he almost joined, and then something with Bolton, because Bolton are corrupt and all that. We've got a good record. I think Liam Walsh looks like a good player from Everton, young midfielder from Everton. I think Joe Williams looks the same. He's got this season as many dribbles as Casey Palmer, and he's a defensive midfielder. Casey Palmer has the most dribbles in our team as well, so he'd instantly be one of the best dribblers despite being a defensive midfielder. That's a good start. He's got loads of tackles, loads of interceptions per game. You can say that's because he plays for Bolton. But it's not like we don't play defensive or counter-attack. I think he'd work really well. And he'd be more squad depth in that midfield role. We've struggled when Walsh and Corey Smith have been injured. We've struggled for squad depth. I think we could get him on the cheap. And if we had him, Liam Walsh coming through, Josh Brownhill's still young, Pack and Smith are the experienced heads in the midfield.
More depth.
I was going to say,
it's just more depth.
Thing with Corey Smith being out, you've almost noticed how little options we've had in that actual midfield role. We've got plenty of correct players.
Yeah, Pack and Brian are pretty much playing every minute of every game. It'd be nice to have someone that can step in almost whenever they're, because obviously Championship is games come thick and fast. You need options to kind of rotate when you can. I don't think we really have that option this season with Smith's injury and Walsh's injury. So
I think Joe Williams as well is a Corey Smith type of player, and we don't at the moment have anyone like Corey Smith. A man who'll do the dirty work, the man who's got the energy, but also the aggression and to get into tackles constantly and win the ball back and then give it to Pack, give it to Brownhill, let them do their thing. And I think Corey's not ageing, but him and Pack are hitting their peak years.
Plenty of miles on the clock as well.
Yeah, plenty of miles. And even for Bristol City, and they're experienced heads. And Joe Williams learning from Corey Smith, I think, would be ideal.
Definitely.
So,
what are you thinking, Doss, then?
I'm thinking, we've been linked with Williams obviously in January, so I think maybe, it depends, I suppose, if we get promoted, which is obviously it could happen, but I thought he wouldn't be the one I'd go for, but definitely to stay in the Championship, yeah, I think it would be a solid backup option really, because I do think we do need depth in that position, so yeah, I'd be for it. I won't be against it.
And if we got him on the cheap, even if we do go up to the Prem, he's young, he's 23 I think, so he's still got time to grow. I think he'd be when we sort of brought in Josh Brownhill, and the fact he's progressed over the years, I think he'd be very similar to that. So, my attacker, a final statement, it's Lewis Wing. Now, I couldn't really pick an attacker. I didn't know whether to go for a winger, a backup striker, or someone to play up top.
Striker.
No, because
Gigi.
Well, I think if we wanted to play... No, I think if we wanted to play two strikers, Gigi and Weimann could do a job in the Prem.
Definitely.
And I think if... I genuinely do.
I think in the Premier you need a 10-goal striker. I don't think Gigi hardly gets 10 goals in the Championship. I'm thinking...
Got 13 last season. He's already got 11 this season. Let's not have a Gigi debate. This is Lewis Wing.
I do like Gigi, but I wouldn't really start
Lewis Wing. He's been floating between attacking midfield and winger this season, but I'd deploy him on the wing, on the Lewis wing. So, as we know, we've got good wingers in the squad. Eliasson's best attribute, crossing, that left peg. O'Dowda's a good dribbler. We don't have anyone with end product.
Fair point.
Lewis Wing. He's got more shots per game than anyone in our squad.
Look at this research.
Yeah,
Mate,
he has research.
I've gone for it. You've got your notes. I've got whoscored.com. Thank you. He's got more shots per game. He's got more key passes per game apart from, God, I think it was Eliasson. So if we had him, he could float into attacking midfield. I think I'd put him out wide. He can cut inside. He can drift inside. He's like Patterson, but instead of being an attacking midfielder on the wing, he's a winger in attacking midfield. He's got the end product. He's young. He's 23. I think, again, a bit of an issue as to whether he could do it in the Prem. But I think, again, he's like Joe Williams. He's young. He could grow. And that would just... It's something on the wings that we don't have because we don't have end product on the wings.
One thing you've brought up in the podcast before, Coxy, was saying that the wingers, you either have one that's in a game on fire, great form, and the other one just missing.
Yeah.
And I feel like, as well, because Bristol City don't have many wing options, you're looking at O'Dowda and Eliasson, then if someone is going for a bad run, you can't pull them from the squad because you either put Pato out wide, which isn't his best position.
The issue we've had is the same with Andy Weimann as well. It's not his natural position. We've seen now, for sure, at the start of the season and in recent games, he's a striker. And he's a bloody good striker. But I think having Lewis Wing, he's consistent because neither O'Dowda and Eliasson are consistent. If they were, there wouldn't even be an argument as to bringing in another winger, but they're not consistent. I think Wing could add this consistency. He's got championship experience, he's young, and I think he could do it in the Prem as well. So that's kind of my three. I've gone with one realistic in Joe Williams. I hope we do get him in the summer, Prem or not. Lewis Wing, be nice to have. Tamori.
Dots, what are you thinking of his choices?
I like Tamori, as I said, I'm a bit unsure as to how realistic that is, but I think...
We'll just wait for your striker, Jack Dawson.
My striker's not very... Well, he's been quoted at 25 million plus, so I just wait there. Although I think, Wing would be good, it's just whether Burrow would willing to let him go. I know he's rated by the fans, but I'd definitely go for all three of them if possible.
I think another thing on Tamori is, obviously, we know what's happening at Chelsea. I don't know whether they might want to keep him, but if they didn't, we've got a good relationship with Chelsea. We've got an established relationship with Chelsea. I'm assuming with this choice, we are activating... Well, we're activating De Silva. Of course we're doing that. I'm assuming De Silva's staying in Bristol, which I'd love to. And I think even if we did go up, I'm not sure whether Callas would stay because I think he was not using us as a stepping stone. He's a good player, but
he's had a lot of loan deals. So.
25. He's 25. He's still going out on loan. It's like I thought he'll want to settle somewhere permanently soon. You'd think he would anyway.
That's where the City feel like they can achieve more than.
I'd be happy to bring in Tamori on a loan, but I genuinely think we could get him on the cheap. And with Chelsea, they're not in a good place to bargain this summer. So I think if we went to them, I wouldn't be surprised if Derby get him on a permanent.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the Premier League next season. And hopefully, imagine him and Webster at the back, De Silva on the left, Hunt on the right.
Seeing him at Ashton Gate playing for England under 21s, that really showed obviously the whole quality that he has. He was next to obviously England 21s. He kind of stood out head and shoulders above anyone else on that pitch. Even the likes of Owen next to him. So
yeah, I mean, he's very similar to Adam Webster. I think he has a better pass percentage than all of our defenders, but I think him and Adam Webster at the back. I know I keep saying it, but just imagine it, because we've seen Tamori now.
Yeah.
Like, I can't really remember him playing for Derby. No, he wasn't at Derby last season. For Hull last season.
He scored. Well,
did he?
Fielding own goal. Yeah, it was in the 5-5. Headed it, hit Fielding and went in.
Let's not talk about that.
He didn't defend very well that day though.
We'll see him in a few weeks when Derby come to the gate. But I think I think him or Webster will make a brilliant partnership.
Decent. He's got on a good start, so Doss.
There we go.
Let's have
Do
a
the honours, Coxy. Right, in defence, obviously, my dream would be to get De Silva and Callas on permanent. I think we need to get them. So I thought, right, where do we need? I thought right back's where we need strength the most at the back four. So I thought, obviously, Bizzarno, unsure whether his contract's going to get renewed. Hearn, he seems a bit injury prone. So I've gone for Jack Stacey at right back. Luton Town, 22 years of age, just made the League One Team of the Year. And obviously, what really appeals to me most about him is he's just as good going forward as he is defensively, and vice versa. Obviously, he's strong going forward, good crossing. He's got 4 goals this season from right back. In League One, obviously, Luton, free-flowing attacking team. So yeah, I think Luton's young player of the year last year. He's very quick. I think what's not to like?
We need that.
It's a very realistic transfer, I think, as well.
Yeah, I think the only thing is with Luton, obviously, potentially, well, it looks like they're going to get promoted to the Championship. It's whether he'd make that move. But obviously, I've been looking through the replies on Twitter, seeing what they think of him. They say he's the best right back outside the Premier League. So why not?
Outside the Premier League.
I mean, that's a claim.
Better than all the Championship ones.
Better than Reece James.
I wouldn't say I agree with it, but it just shows how highly they do rate him and what an addition he would be.
What about if we go up to the Prem? Would you still bring him in?
That's a different story. I think. I wouldn't say if the Prem. I'd say maybe he's a backup. He's only 22. Still got time to develop, but I'd say definitely if he obviously stayed in the Championship, it's probably it's the most likely scenario.
Yeah,
I feel he would be my #1 target to bring in.
If Hunt stays fit, I think he could cope in the Premier League. But we do need backup.
I think Hunt's a good player. But I agree with Doss that the injury prone is a factor now. You do have to think about that, and bringing a young player like that with got Bizzarno's experience as well. Would be a good shout, I think. Someone that young, fresh. I'm behind that.
I hope we don't let go, but I think we will let go of Pizzano in the summer. So we will need a backup because I'm not sure. Rotherham fans aren't a big fan of Zach Viner. No. I'm not sure whether he's going to be a Bristol City player in the next few years. So I like that.
So, midfielder Doss, what are we thinking?
Right, for me, my dream midfielder, right, if I get anyone, I'd go for Ben Pearson.
You're a
big fan. I think you know how much of a big fan I am. I think he's got most red cards, most yellow cards, but he's that kind of, he has the bite we need, but obviously...
He's got a little shrine in his room.
Yeah, I mean, I put him in my team of the season, so...
Yeah. So he's got the Juju shrine, you have the Ben Pearson
shrine.
I just like Ben Pearson.
Just a load of candles.
Corey Smith shrine for me.
Yeah, but obviously, I think he's got Premier League interest, and it's a bit optimistic. So instead I've gone for Luke O'Connell from Bolton.
Yeah. A winger.
He can play in the middle though.
Okay.
Both.
Give him the benefit of the doubt.
Benefit of the doubt.
He gave you the benefit of the doubt on your defenders.
He did.
Yeah. Right. So obviously, given Bolton's predicament, I think he is probably the most valuable player that they've got on their hands at the minute. Obviously, 17 years of age, and I think he would be. I've seen Bolton fans say, "Oh, as long as we keep on Luke O'Connell going into League One." So that's where we swipe in. Because obviously, I think he made his debut in the FA Cup at Ashton Gate. I was thinking, who's this kid? He looks like 12. But honestly, I would say he ran the game, but he's impressed me.
By far their best player.
Yeah, even his cross, I think it was, who's got Beaver's goal?
Beaver's goal.
Literally got it, crossed it in, and that's the kind of final ball we need. He's got end product, he's only 17. He's only made 17 Bolton appearances, but I just think he fits the City mould. Maybe not like to start next season, but just he's only 17, so it's a potential. Buying for his potential.
Doss is buying into potential with his signings, isn't he?
I thought we could go into like Brian Hill. We brought in players like Josh Brown, Callum O'Dowd. I think Brian Hill from Barnsley or Preston, whoever it was, and he's just obviously first season he's kind of in and out of the team. Then he's really kicked on. I think Connell could be like that.
Same with it.
It wouldn't cost too much.
Same with Eliasson.
Yeah.
I think if we brought in maybe Luke Connell and Joe Williams, get them both on the cheap because we know what Bolton are like. And then.
So what do you think of Connell, Coxy?
I like him. I think if we brought him and Joe Williams in, because Bolton duo, there's potential.
I mean, we could almost buy Connell this summer and then obviously send him back to Bolton next season because there is they're going to be in League One. Send him on loan there so we can get first team experience under his belt. But I'm just buying him for the sake of the potential he has.
I really like him. I think he really impressed me at the gate.
Yeah.
And he, as you said, Bolton fans love him. I think he'd be a really good addition. And as you said, I think he'd fit the City mould. He's got good end product. We need that.
An alternative, maybe Trevor Chalobah's obviously been on loan at Ipswich, I think from Chelsea this season. Maybe he could be an alternative option. But yeah, I think Luke O'Connell definitely would be my my go-to.
Your go-to man.
Yeah, behind Ben Pearson, obviously.
So, moving on to the striker.
And I'm not
you've
getting stick for this.
No, you've been ambitious. Coxy was ambitious as well, so I feel like it's justified.
I mean, this is a different level of ambitious, but we'll go with it. It is.
I think go for Ben Rama.
What we've discussed.
Yeah, I was going to say Ben Rama.
He's been at Arsenal and Chelsea, so I thought, right, that's...
Well, we've sort of discussed, didn't we, like how the getting promoted into the Premier League could change your decisions, and this is a Premier League signing.
This is a Premier League signing, yeah. Obviously, Neil Maupay from Brentford, he's only 22. I think he doesn't really need too much introduction, does he?
It would be the dream, I agree.
Yeah, he's got 20 league goals, and that's what I feel we need. I think, obviously, having watched him a fair bit this season, I feel, obviously, losing Reed in the summer, I feel he'd almost come in and almost fit Reed's role, almost improve it. He gets on the end of things, he's always in the right place at the right time. Brilliant finishing, brilliant work rate, he's always pressing the opponents, and I feel he complements Gigi perfectly.
I was going to say, you're going to pair him with Gigi, or is this a Gigi replacement?
It's almost like last year we had Reed almost buzzing around Gigi. I think maybe they could do that job, but just better.
It did get better out of Gigi, I think, as well.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, because obviously Maupay could do the hard yards, press the opponents.
You can stand there.
He's got that attitude as well,
Yeah,
Maupay.
definitely.
He's got that gritty attitude. A lot of people don't like it. You've got to have it when you're... Because he's small, but he's strong, and he's
so instinctive as well. The ball drops in the box on the end of it and he just smashes it in. Even at Ashton Gate last year, I think he had one chance, it fell to him, he just smashed it in.
Yeah, I think...
Was that the game we watched? It was one of the worst.
1-1, yeah. 1-1 at Christmas.
I do agree. I mean, if we could get him, I very much doubt it, because...
25 million.
He's going to be going... Yeah, but he's going to be going to a better club.
It's a promotion potential.
Yeah.
Villa have been linked with him, so I think...
He's a mid-table Premier League.
If we are going to want promotion, we need to go for the top-end Championship players. And I feel he is definitely that.
If we could attract him, 100% bring him in.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether I would spend all my budget on him in the summer and then not really have anything else, any more wiggle room. But if we could get him, I would take him.
I would bring up, if we do get promoted and Villa don't get up, Tammy return or...
Yes.
Again, I would probably have to be alone unless we've got ridiculous funds, because I think...
Like we said with the Chelsea scenario with Tomori, they might need to shift some players on. Tammy might be one of those players, someone that's gone out and got experience elsewhere, knows what it's like to be a first-team starter, to be loved by the fans, and maybe he's not feeling that love at Chelsea. I mean, if Hudson-Odoi can't get in the team, Tammy's in that predicament where he does think, this is where I jump ship, or... I feel like that's an option as well.
100% agree.
But with the transfer ban Chelsea have, you think could they be really affording to lose like one of their top young prospects? It's a bit, because who else they have? Higuain.
Higuain.
He's not a fan of Batshuayi, so I think Batshuayi will move on.
Yeah.
Giroud might move on, so I think they'll keep Tammy.
I think they'd be silly to get rid of him.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah, but you got to capitalise on silliness.
Definitely.
I think he'd go to a Wolves or something over us.
But they've just signed, they kept Jimenez, haven't they?
Yeah, true. But we have got the relationship, which could be key. And the relationship with Chelsea and the relationship with Tammy.
Yeah.
See?
Could be
so even now I'm bringing in the...
Yeah.
I don't have my own picks, you don't guys.
No.
You guys don't know me, I've got a judge.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so who would you pick for each
I was going to say
position?
5 arguments, go on.
Well...
So whose picks are better? I think Tomori, is a bit...
Well, why don't you sort of pick...
Give your individual pitches, convince me. Coxy, pitch to me why I should choose your signings. Let's get them back up.
Fikayo Tomori, best defender in the Championship. It's not really...
No interrupting.
Yeah, come on.
Get competitive.
Yeah, you are.
I know you do.
Tomori, best defender in the Championship by a mile, in my opinion. There are other players, but nowhere near. Him and Adam Webster would be a dream. We have a relationship with Chelsea, and Chelsea are in a bad place. We could get him for cheaper than maybe other clubs could, and we could get him for cheaper than if Chelsea weren't in an absolute shambles. That's my picture of him. However, he's not my priority in this position. My priority, personally, realistic-wise, would be Joe Williams, because I think he's got better numbers than most of our midfielders. He's a younger Corey Smith, and we don't have anyone else in that mould. I don't think we have anyone else in the club that can perform like him. He's proven in the Championship. We've got a relationship with Everton after buying Liam Walsh. So I think Joe Williams and Bolton are not going to be keeping hold of him. So I think Joe Williams. And Lewis Wing, he's again really young, buying into potential, like Jack Dawson here. He's got better end product than pretty much all of our wingers at the moment. I think he's got more consistency than any of our wingers at the moment. And again, he could grow into a brilliant player.
Dos, you're up.
Well, I think for starters, I think Jack Stacey would be brilliant for our right back. Obviously, because he can do it all. So we tend to mix up our style. We either press them, go for it, and he can do that. Or if we sit back, he can defend it just as well. So obviously, being 22, Luton, he's the best left back in League One by a mile. I don't think we really need a centre back. We got Webster, Callas, Baker, Wright. I think why get a centre back in when clearly we need a right back more?
I think it was based on Callas leaving, wasn't it?
Based on Callas leaving.
I think first things first. I think get Callas signed on a permanent if we could.
Yeah.
That would be my number one priority. But if not, I think we do need a right back, whatever happens.
Yeah.
So Jack Stacey, 4 goals season. I think he's got 4 assists. Why not Rapid?
I personally agree with Jack Stacey.
Yeah. Yeah, I think almost a bit.
My only issue is Premier League, but I think he'd still be young enough to grow.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Look at Brian.
Then Luke O'Connell, obviously, I will give Ben Pearson, but Luke O'Connell, I think you said Williams has got potential, but I don't think he has as much as Luke O'Connell, being 17, being the fact he's shining in this poor Bolton team. Passing range is brilliant, that's. You don't have to learn that, he's just got that, that's natural. And then also the other aspects of his game where maybe he is lacking decision making, end product, we can almost, given that he's 17, he has time to always grow and improve in those areas. So I thought if we did buy him, maybe send him on loan to Bolton for a year in League One, get some experience under his belt, then maybe get him into the finished article to start for our team. And then obviously, I think Neil Maupay speaks for itself.
Yeah.
If he did go up, 20 league goals. We've been lacking a player to always be in the right place at the right time. If anything, we have been obviously lacking goals at home. I think he would definitely solve that issue for us. Obviously, like Reed, almost nipping in and around, in the space, finishes on the end of everything. So, yeah, got everything. Scores all types of goals.
My decision then. So,
I feel like I've been outdone here.
For defender, I'm going with Jack Stacey.
I agree.
Because I think that Dos pitched it quite well, just saying we have got centre backs. The priority is signing Callas on permanent, and getting that extra right back in would be a game changer, and especially with Pisano potentially being moved on. Midfielder, Joe Williams takes it for me on midfielder. I think that what Coxy said about a young Corey Smith, given how sparse we've been in midfield this season, does make sense.
Yeah.
And then you're not overrunning Brownhill and Pack. Perfect signing for me. Striker, attacker.
Very two different options, isn't it?
Yeah.
Neil Maupay.
If you could get him, 100%.
If you get him, 100%. But I think that's based on the fact you get promoted.
Yeah.
I also very much agree with your decision on Coxie. I think another winger is needed because you've seen when Eliasson and O'Dowd are dropping form, they're forced to play and it just doesn't work out.
Or forced to play Ryman on the wing, doesn't work.
Exactly.
Pato on the wing.
And then you're putting players out of position, so it's not working. But it was the pitch of just having him next to Gigi. Maupay, I think that would be
If we could have that.
Why not get all 6?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Mate, we've basically picked the 2 best players from Bolton. We've picked, even though Joe Williams is Everton, but we've picked the best full-back in League One. We've picked one of the best strikers in the league and one of the best defender in the league.
Can't go wrong.
No.
really
There you go. Buy them all. That's that.
If we got... There you go, lad. We've done your scouting for you.
Don't worry, recruiting team. We've got this.
We've got
this. So yeah, congratulations, Dos.
Thank you.
You've won it 2-1. Round of applause.
It's alright, James. You'll get over it.
I think we both won. I think football won today.
Don't say that.
No.
So on to our next segment. I'm just going to be asking the boys now about the summer transfer window in general. We're not going to worry about targets or any of this competing between each other. It's just going to be general discussion, who we'd like to see secured permanently, and maybe some youth players we'd like to see brought through. So should we get things kicked off? It's a big one, isn't it, for Bristol City this summer? You almost sense it already. I mean, Premier League promotion is going to change everything, of course, but say we don't go up, which is, like you said earlier, the main possibility. It's important that Bristol City strengthen and really go for either a league win or an automatic spot. So, I mean, what would you say about that? I mean, who needs to be secured from loan deals?
Loan deals, I think, obviously, if we can, the Chelsea players, I think that goes like saying. I think Jada Silva, I think it's $2 million option to buy, just whether he almost agrees to it. So I think we've got to do our best to convince him to sign on, because then we have England's 221 left backs. That'll be, how good would that be for the club? So I think he could do it in the Premier League and the Championship. Get Jada Silva in at all costs.
Yeah,
all costs. 2 million.
Like, obviously, you mentioned the sort of 3 Chelsea players. I know Callas has this relationship with Webster, but by far for me, you've got to prioritise Jay De Silva.
Yeah.
One, because it's already pre-agreed. Two, because I think Lloyd Kelly will develop into a first-class centre-back. So I think if we brought him through, maybe made the pathway a bit more clearer for him. Not saying not keep Callas, I keep Callas if I can, but Jay De Silva for me is priority.
Well, that might be one of the doubts in Jay De Silva's mind, is that if you've got Lloyd Kelly also playing the same position as him, that's competition for places. Two of England's under-21 fullbacks, so that competition is there. But like I said, maybe if you move Kelly into the middle, if Callas is, doesn't agree on the deal or goes on loan somewhere else, then you could quite easily just see Jay De Silva, Lloyd Kelly, Webster, Hunt.
Yeah, Lee Johnson has said so many times that he thinks Lloyd Kelly's going to be a centre back, and I think we watched the under-21. Yeah, we watched the England under-21s game at the gate.
He fits there. He looks like he's a natural centre back.
Him and Tomori worked brilliantly, and Tomori, it's basically Adam Webster. So
if we do persist with this 5 at the back, wing back, I think De Silva as a wing back is perfect, because obviously if he's a left back, his height, obviously I think Borough used it, they exploited long balls into the back post where obviously he's not as strong in the air. So as a wing back, I think he's just perfect fitting, and obviously could have K's like that left side centre back,
I really like him.
I think he's worth. I think the fee is $2 million. He's worth more than that already. I think so. We could buy him for that, and if needs be, what money have we lost?
We've got the stranglehold on him in terms of competing with Chelsea. No,
Aggressive.
all right.
It's in the ball's in our court.
Callas is a different one because he's been excellent, but I do think Adam Webster's better.
Yeah, so do I.
And I think Lloyd Kelly will be better, but it's a case of I'd love to keep him, and it depends how much they can ask for him.
Player for me.
Yeah, I don't think it's any coincidence that Fulham, Borough, and Bristol City have all had good seasons since he's been there and got to the playoffs. So
he's a wise head because he's mid-20s now.
Do you know what he said?
I did say that, didn't
Did
I?
you hear what he said?
No.
He said,
in the playoff places.
He said it's no coincidence with Callas that Borough,
Fulham,
Bristol City have all been in the playoffs. So he's basically saying we are making it regardless.
Yeah.
It's because we got TK. I think I'd love to keep him, but prioritise Jay De Silva for me. And then Casey Palmer. Again, I'd love to keep him, but what was it rumoured? Like
4 million.
4 million.
Yeah.
Is it worth it?
Is he worth the 4 million?
No.
It depends how much of the budget we take out. If that takes out half the budget, I'm not sure.
He can't be the main signing this summer.
I can't, because he's good.
Striker more.
He's good. He's really good, and I think, to be fair to him, he's not had many starts in a row. I don't think he's even had 2 starts in a row.
Well, we've spoke about this before, and we said the signing of Casey Palmer sort of spurred Patterson on. I think now if Patterson can continue that momentum, then you don't really need Palmer. Do you know what I mean? He's not needed.
I think
he's expendable.
The impact he has off the bench, I think. Even Sheffield United away came on, played that pass through to Weimann. I feel that's where he's almost been. He hasn't really seemed to complain. He's not in the team. He always comes on and then just does the business.
4 million though, he's expendable. You don't need to spend that much money on Casey Palmer.
If we could get Lewis Wing for cheaper, I'd bring in Lewis Wing.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
I think we need someone alongside Jamie Patterson, whether that's Palmer, whether that's Lewis Wing, whether that's someone else, maybe even Luca Connell. I think Pato needs competition, because at the end of the sort of Christmas period of last season, he was competing with Bobby Reid, because when we had Zizou before he got injured, there was sort of that second striker sort of cam role, and they were competing, and that's when Pato was at his best. And then obviously Zizou got injured, so we're playing Bobby up top and Pato in behind him, and he dropped off because he knew his place was secure.
Yeah.
But I think if we could bring in Casey Palmer, great, but 4 million. Wouldn't pay 4 million.
I feel that will be better spent going towards a striker, really.
Yeah.
Going towards 21, take out the 21 for Neil Mopai, you could put 4 million in.
20% in the way there.
We'll be able to afford him in 3 years.
Alright, we can put it towards tomorrow then, because he'd be cheap, wouldn't he?
Yeah, you pipe down.
Pipe down.
I saw 20 million over his head as well.
Yeah,
true.
Exactly. So, but if City do get promoted, we said that how that might change things. Just how ambitious would you be if you were Lansdowne if City got promoted? Because you don't want to do what Fulham have done this season, spent 100 million, gone down. So how do you gauge it? How ambitious do you have to be?
Lee Johnson has his ways, and I fully trust him. Because let's be honest, other than Diony, Woodrow and Kent, he hasn't brought in any poor players I can think of.
Engvall?
Yeah, maybe. Every other player, and he's brought in quite a few, has made... He's thinking of some...
Marley Watkins.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Competition winner.
But to be fair to him, he's not really been in the team much. But
When he has, he's
a lot of the players that Lee Johnson has brought in...
Not a fan.
Not a fucking fan. I trust him to be able to bring in the right players, and I trust the scouting team.
Players in,
yeah,
gets the best out of them.
I think our main issue will be attracting players, whether we go up or not. It's whether we can bring in players and convince them compared to... Because we've got that thing, haven't we, where with the wage structure, we don't want to give much more to any player because then it's unfair and the wage structure breaks down. Which means I don't think we could bring in someone like Mopai because we're going to have to offer him a lot of money. But it's the same with a lot of players. So I think we won't see any players breaking the bank. I doubt we'll see the transfer record being broken. Obviously, 5.1 mil. But I'd like to see not a ton of players, but 3, 4, 5 squad depth, maybe a couple first teamers that just with potential, and maybe an experienced head here or there.
It could have to be like almost a hidden gem. Someone like Gigi maybe comes from the foreign leagues and then almost hits it off here. So, because like I say, I don't think we are going to break the bank.
I thought you hated Gigi. Now you're calling him a hidden gem.
No, because when he did sign, obviously he was a bit of an unknown quantity. Obviously, also for 5 million, it almost did raise heads. Like, I know, spending 5 million on, who's this? So I think it would have to be something like that. Because obviously, I think like with Sombalonga, even Mope, the wages would be extortionate. Which obviously we know what Lansdowne's like with paying those wages. So
we've got good record for plucking random strikers and making them names. I mean, Codger, Tammy, even Gigi to an extent. Bobby Reid was at one point a holding midfielder.
Yeah.
And now is a half decent Premier League striker. So I think I'd trust them to bring in someone, scout someone that would be a hidden gem.
Yeah. If it came to promotion, loan deals, what's your views on this?
Well, they've worked well for us this season, obviously with the Chelsea player. So obviously, if we do got maybe Reece James from Wigan, obviously on loan from Chelsea, would you see maybe get him in on loan?
I mean, I'd love to get him in on loan, but I think he'll be moving to a Premier League club, maybe on a permanent. But I think he's excellent. He's going to be sort of a... Do you think he'll be a central midfielder, or do you think he'll stick at right back?
It's a tough one because obviously he's been. I think he played holding midfielder for Wigan against Derby, and he was right.
Yeah, I was thinking of having him as one of my options, but I thought it's probably too unrealistic because he's too good.
Even more unrealistic than Tomori.
He could be in the Chelsea squad next season, Reece James. He probably will be.
I seen him saying back up to Aspilicueta, obviously. I think he could even challenge him for spots, Aspilicueta. I don't think he's set up this season.
Do you know Baba Rahman is still on the books at Chelsea?
Is he?
Yeah.
God.
Still getting paid.
Where is he?
Why don't we sign him?
He's still on the books though, I know that.
God, I'm not having Baba Rahman. That's fine, we've got Jay De Silva, we don't need him. Chilabodji. Yeah, loan deals would be... Again, it's another case if you've got to do it right. I mean, Fulham, I think... Some of them are right. Andre Schürrle, I think, was a great addition. Someone like Luciano Vietto, not so. And I think we've got a decent record with loan. I mean, it's been pretty good, to be fair.
They've got to, I think with loan players, they need to... There's some that just don't really get it. Whereas I feel like the ones you have this season, like Casey Palmer definitely gets it.
Jay De Silva definitely gets it.
Callis. So I think that with loan players, it's a bit risky because they don't always almost, you don't always seem to have the passion to play for the club. So I think that's something you definitely need to look into. Will they put their all into it? So obviously, knowing they're only here for a season or so, will they put their all into it?
And I think that they've talked about a lot, the coach and the staff team have talked a lot about finding the right characters.
Like they all do personality checks on the players before they sign them, which is, I think that's crucial.
Yeah, so I know City do a lot of, like the coaching staff do a lot of personality checks on players. We've brought in a lot of... De Silva obviously was great, Tammy Abraham was great. And last season, maybe Kent and Dione weren't great. I mean, Dione came from a different country, but I thought, as much as we didn't rate him, I thought Crawley Woodrow had a good attitude. And I think we've got a good judge of character. And I think I know I keep saying it, but I trust our club to bring in the right players.
So that about rounds it up for today's BS3 Talk Live. Somewhat smoothly.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining us. If you check out our Twitter at BS3 Talk, that's where we do most of our social media posting, and our podcast, which you can find on Spotify and on SoundCloud. Guys, Do you want to send us off?
It's been excellent,
Happy
hasn't it?
Easter.
Yeah,
Happy
happy Easter, everyone.
Yeah, because this will be going out then. So yeah, keep an eye on our YouTube as well, and we'll see you guys later.
Cheers.
Bye.